I mean, I think like the fact that like it's not just it's trans women and biological women kind of already inherently is saying they're different. You know what I'm saying?
Because they
So
are.
like if it's like do you view a woman as the same? Even if that question, the answer would be no, because all women are different. Like Rihanna and Beyonce different.
Oh, Lord. Attention to reality, they get demonized, and I'm just one of these soldiers out here trying to bring attention back to reality.
Or what the hell she asked? I was waiting for her.
She's talking about the beauty
tie it in.
standard. These black folks' minds are so warped. I understand why this particular person, the one in the blue, would say that, because she's trying to maximize her pool of potential suitors.
What is it like being a woman in modern day America for you?
There definitely is some like setbacks and challenges, especially like I'm queer, and so I have some like just problems with that, like in like a religious standpoint.
That ain't
There's
got nothing
still
to do
a
with you
lot
being
of
a woman,
struggles
no.
that women have to like go through just for the, I guess, the way that they were born, I guess, especially if you take into account like trans femme people and like stuff like that. So
But why is that? I know it's edited, bro, but why is that the first place we go? Like, why is it the first place we go? It has nothing to do with women. It's a whole different subset. We're talking about women. That shit don't apply to the majority. I don't know what the fuck you are. We don't know these days. But damn, it's the first thing they go to. Trans this, queer that.
I'm actually just working on a project right now. I'm an RTF major, and we actually just made a short film about women's experiences, like just existing in the world. It's called You Should Smile More, and we actually did a whole bit about like how it is to just like exist around like kind of just the kind of entitlement of men and how they make people feel uncomfortable and just like in everyday situations and how that affects women in like their day-to-day lives.
What are some of those things that men do that make women feel uncomfortable?
Well, for example, in the film, like the title of the film is You Should Smile More. Just these like kind of offhanded, sort of like backhanded compliments almost, where it's like it's inherently threatening and telling them like like you're only valuable because you're pretty, and like they kind of the tone that they use in sort of situations.
She didn't provide any fucking example. You got a whole documentary you did. You couldn't give her a specific example. Backhanded comments saying you're only valuable because you're pretty. Like, how often does a man tell that, vocalize that, or express that to a woman?
I actually identify as non-binary, but I have still identify as a mostly feminine person.
You're gender fluid. Talk to us about, I guess, the modern day version of what being a woman is.
I don't know. I mean, I'm only realized some more gender stuff about myself recently, like in the past few months or so, because before then I identified as a man most of my life, so I'm still trying to figure things out.
So what are your pronouns? Talk to us a little bit about your gender identity.
Pronouns, I guess right now I'm kind of vague about, because I'm not out to literally everyone in existence, just kind of certain social spheres. But I guess any at this point.
Any gender?
Yeah.
So they, them, she, her,
Yeah,
it, he,
whatever.
him.
Yeah.
You go with anything?
Yeah, I go with anything.
So gender and sexuality is something that has been brought to the forefront a lot for Women's History Month,
Definitely.
International Women's Day. Some women saying that trans women shouldn't be platformed because they're really biological men, especially for Women's History Month. What is your viewpoint on that in the modern day?
I think trans women are women because biological gender is different, biological sex is different from gender. So however you choose to present yourself, you are a woman. If you don't even have to have any sort of gender affirmation surgery.
I think if anyone wants to be a woman, they can. I think just because a trans woman is a woman, and I do think we should platform that. They are women.
It's interesting with biological men going into becoming a biological woman, and people have an issue with that, because at the end of the day,
That's
they're a woman.
impossible, though. A biological man cannot become a biological woman. It's impossible. Impossible.
Becoming a biological woman, and people have an issue with that, because at the end of the day, they're a woman. You've become a woman, so now you are in that camp. So I could see why someone might have like issues like, oh, that's not a real woman, but I think that's kind of them not being able to accept the fact that that person has made that choice to become a woman.
Your choice does not dictate everyone else's life and experiences. Such a fucking selfish way to walk through this world. You choose to live your life the way you choose to live your life. But we don't have to accept what the fuck it is you choose your life to be, especially when it threatens other people's well-being. More specifically, sports, safety, restrooms, things of that nature, man. Choice ain't got nothing to do with that. It was you're biologically birthed with. You know what I mean? Fuck all this, man. Same story, different day, bro. It's just crazy that we are so stuck on stupid. Trans women are not women. Trans women are trans women. How many fucking times have I said on this goddamn channel, though, man? But anyway, let's go. This shit is tiring, bro. What was the question?
Do you guys view trans women and biological women the same?
I'm scared to say the truth. You scared?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like yes. It's like a
not
yes
that that's
and
a trick
no.
question, but it's
Yeah.
like that's a great question
It really
for
is a good
conversation.
Well, I mean, I think like the fact that like it's not just it's trans women and biological women kind of already inherently is saying they're different. You know what I'm saying?
Because they
so,
are.
Like, if you know, it's like, do you view a woman as the same? Even if that question, the answer would be no, because all women are different. You know, like Rihanna and Beyonce different.
Oh, Lord. I don't even know how to attack that, bro. Use the differences between woman to woman to describe the difference between a biological man and a biological woman.
Same way, you know, like Caitlyn Jenner and like
Do you think
and
Beyonce and Caitlyn Jenner are similar? Like,
I
would
think
you
they're
put them on? Yeah, like.
Yeah, they're both women.
In the place of the arts, it's like there's really no room for judgment because like we do like animal work, like we'll crawl on the ground like dogs or like squirrels, and then that like being a squirrel, you can like transition to like being like this like sort of crackhead where you have
What
like
the
this.
fuck
like,
are you
tick,
talking
and it's, like,
about?
I know, I'm getting there. I'm getting there, but it's like. You know, you're laughing at that, but it's like we have no room to judge because
What the
like,
hell
some
are
of
you
the best
talking
actors out there
about?
doing, like Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire. You know,
Would you say that a man?
What? Motherfuckers has lost their goddamn mind, bro.
A man transitioning to being a woman is the same as an actor pretending to be a squirrel.
See, that's just a crazy ass question.
That's what you just said, though.
What I'm getting
stupid
at
ass.
is like not the embarrassment, the judgment on other people of like, you know, this is just that's what I do. Now you might not necessarily do.
That has
work.
nothing to do with the fucking argument, though. Judgment aside, what the fuck is reality, bro? But reality doesn't matter anymore, man.
Do you think that we should be focused in more on transgender women's voices now?
Where the fuck are the real goddamn traditional fucking American homegrown women that know what the fuck it is, dog? Why like indoctrination of these imbeciles goes that deep? You're so willing to relinquish your identity to whatever the fuck. That's crazy. Like, you can be empathetic for someone's situation, man. Like, I don't give a damn, but I'm not about to allow anybody to just assume my identity as a man because they think that they fucking are. I don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck. Like, if there was some woman out here who identifies as a man, you got all the surgeries, you got them coming this motherfucker more masculine than me. I don't give two fucks. You are a trans man. You're not a fucking man. You're not a fucking man. You don't know what the fuck it is to be a man, and you never will. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. Like, why? And y'all are fighting so much to be identified, to be respected, to be acknowledged, to be validated. Why can't y'all focus that intention on being validated as just trans or whatever the fuck it is? Why do you have to assume another role that's not you? You know it's not you because biology means everything. Like, fuck that. Just be proud to be trans. You know what I'm saying? Stop fucking forcing this clash. You're never gonna be able to get everybody on the fucking same page. There's always gonna be conflicts. Always gonna be fucking this friction. And wouldn't if y'all just focused on being y'all self. Just be yourself. You won't have no problems.
Modern day society and, you know, trying to uplift them more than, let's say, other groups of women in the space. What are your thoughts?
Yes, in a way, because they do go through more.
And it's nice to get validated
Yeah.
in your identity and stuff.
Nah,
trans women
fuck that.
are...
You don't need to be seeking validation. Fuck that. Fuck validation. No one else should be able to feel like what it is you want to feel like. Fuck everybody else and how the fuck they feel. As long as you feel comfortable in this, all that fucking matters. You seeking validation from people to feel comfortable in your own skin, and there's an issue. Are you sure what you think you are is what you are?
You know, oppressed and stuff. I think they deserve, I don't know what I'm trying to
They
say.
deserve a voice. They deserve
Yeah.
to have the right to identify the way that they see themselves as.
I think trans women of color should be uplifted the most just because they have the most oppression facing them.
And talk to me too a little bit about that. What are some of those oppressive things that they're facing?
It could just be like small, everyday microaggressions, or even as far as someone going and assaulting them on the street.
And it's all intersectionality, so they deal with just more than one thing. They're a trans woman, they might be a person of color, they might be part of the LGBTQ plus community, a lot of things.
They don't know nothing. They just reiterating narratives, regurgitating narratives. They don't know nothing. They're just generalizing shit they fucking read on social media or something. You don't have any specific example of what the fuck it is that they go through, but you're so willing to goddamn say that they need all this and all that. I'm not about to sit here and minimize their experiences. You know what I mean? But if you're going to be up here to relinquish your identity as a woman to accommodate them, you should know why the fuck you're doing it. You can empower trans women of color without relinquishing what it is to be a woman. You can do both at the same time, right? Just empower trans women of color. What the fuck does it have to do with you as a woman, though?
In terms of women's, sports, or even sometimes women's locker rooms, like young girls are being exposed to trans women who still have male genitalia. So these are kind of little kids that are seeing that. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
That's a good question. When it comes to the locker room, I feel like if these people if the trans community, if they feel like they are the opposite sex, like a female or a male, then they should be able to go into the locker room or whatnot because they truly feel like they are female. So
that trumps how everybody else feels.
I can't speak for everyone, but they're not trying to mess with the opposite sex if they feel like they are that sex. Like if they're a female.
So your feelings about yourself trumps how everyone else feels about you. All right.
Going into a female locker room, then they're not going to want to mess with the females because they now are a female. But
even if they still have a penis, though, like, do you think that, again, exposing a child to male genitalia just because that person feels female is a good thing for society?
Well, I feel like you're not going to expose your genitalia in a locker room. I know for me, you just get changed and stuff. So in terms of like exposing yourself in a locker room, I feel like that is not an issue. But if people are afraid that the trans person is going to mess with the female in the locker room, that's why I'm saying I feel like it's not an issue either, because if they identify as female, then they're not going to try to mess with these females.
Bitch don't know what the fuck
really
she's talking
anyone
about.
can be dangerous.
But do you think little kids should be seeing this type of thing?
I mean, well, kids shouldn't be seeing genitalia in general. I think.
Come on, man.
I mean, if a woman
come on, man,
goes into a bathroom and is like showing off their genitals or whatever, that's just like a sexual predator. Like, they just need to be in jail.
For example, in my gym, women will walk around and they'll get naked changing because we're all biologically the same there. So that's kind of the situation that some people.
The fact that she needs to break it down for these intellectuals is crazy. They're so stuck on stupid that they're clearly avoiding the obvious. Big ass elephant in the room. You know damn well that a little girl, should not be seeing no fucking person walking in the bathroom naked trying to get changed with titties in the dick. You know damn well that's not supposed to be fucking happening. But you gonna goddamn move the goalposts and just like, well, we're all exposing ourselves and no one's gonna be attacked and it depends on how the fuck. No, bitch, what the fuck you talking about? Why shit on earth should anybody, no matter how old you are, what a grown ass woman don't want to see that shit? But it's all about how that person feels. And then you allow the person to dictate the situation based on how the fuck they feel. You allow other motherfuckers to take advantage of that shit who are not what they portray themselves to be. You got fucking full on predators in that motherfucker where you don't need to be on no hormones. You ain't even gotta fucking look like a woman. You can go in that motherfucker looking suited to booty like a goddamn man and say you're a woman, right? But no, like we so stuck on that, avoiding the obvious. Like, are you dumb? It's gonna take more motherfuckers to be victimized for people to wake up and smell the shit in front of them.
Lauren, there are children there, but I guess, like I said, in the instance of it being a trans female, like, what are your thoughts on, I guess, children seeing that?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's that is interesting thing to think about. I just think like
Interesting, huh? Just say the truth, stupid ass.
I don't know. It is like kind of a weird situation. I do think for the safety of like a lot of trans people, there should be a lot more gender like neutral spaces.
Right. So more options would probably be the answer.
Yeah, I think so, because it really is like, especially if you're thinking of like a trans woman.
It's all about the
if
trans
they go into
woman.
like the men's locker room, they're like a target for like harassment and violence. But if they go into a women's like locker room, a lot of women are uncomfortable, and that's just like the reality of it.
Yeah, that's
Because
bullshit.
it's a whole different gender. Just give them their own fucking bathrooms. You know what I'm saying? Problem solved.
Trans women are women, just like I'm a woman. I'm a cisgender woman, but just as much as I'm a woman, so are trans women. So they deserve every right that I have.
I don't even care. I don't notice anything. Like, I don't see it as a problem, and I think that if they're comfortable
That's
being
crazy.
in like women's bathroom, then go to the women's bathroom.
Because they are women.
Yeah.
What would you say to the parents who think, like, oh, I don't want my daughter around a trans woman in a bathroom? Like, what are your thoughts on that type of mentality in the modern day?
I feel like they're not as educated as well. When parents usually say that, it's really coming from like an ignorant place because they're not understanding that they are women. I know they might have been born a male or whatever.
They're ignorant because they don't want their child to see a chick with a dick. They're ignorant because they don't want their child to receive trauma. Very ignorant, huh? Imagine what that's gonna do to a child. Seeing that in the position it forces the parents to be in, to have this conversation much sooner than they anticipated. I gotta explain to you what the hell is going on here. Little girls shouldn't be looking at penises, period. Period. But the first penis they're gonna see is attached to a woman.
Whatever, but they are women. If they identify as a woman, they are a woman. And I get like they don't want like something bad to happen in the bathroom because their genitalia might not, sex and gender are two different things, so their sex and gender might not match, but I think it's just ignorance. Yeah,
I agree with what she's saying.
Yeah, I would absolutely be okay sharing a space with trans women, and the fact that parents think that is kind of awful.
I think honestly men are the problem in that point, because I don't think if there is a large majority of people being predatory in women's restrooms, it is men. It is not people who identify as female with male genitalia.
All right, I'm over this shit. I'm over this. I'm trying, dog. I'm trying, bro, but fuck.